With the 51st pick of the 2023 draft, the Packers selected Jayden Reed, a guy from Michigan State who quite frankly kind of didn't get talked about a ton. But one of the things I love is just drafting receivers in rounds 2 and 3. It feels like every year there's a ton of receivers that are drafted in those rounds that are really successful. And in fact, usually the hit rate on receivers in day 2 is the same as receivers in day 1. So it's a smart strategy to get guys here. And Jayden Reed might be the next player on the long list of players who has really been a great player despite being drafted in the second round. So I wanted to make a video talking about, what does he do well and how good can he be for the Green Bay Packers, as I think we all talk about the Packers as, it's just the group of young Packers receivers. Okay, well, we have to at a certain point start talking about the receivers themselves. And while perhaps there are going to be videos of Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson in the future, for now, it is the Jayden Reed video. So let's just get into it. For one thing, the Packers love to do stuff like this with Reed. Like to do the kind of, it's like a jet sweep. It's a push pass, which, I have to say, I think the push pass should count as a running play. Maybe that's unfair because it is technically a passing play. Statistics-wise, this should not be a passing play. It should be a running play, but I digress. You know how the concept works. Reed is in motion from the offense's left to the offense's right. He's going to catch the pass right here and going to get towards the sideline. As you see right here, incredible pass by Jordan Love, gets the ball to Jayden Reed, but there's a bit of an issue right here, as there is an Atlanta player doing a good job of getting past his attempted blocker on this one. Usually part of why these plays are so effective is because you have a halfback who can get out and block, so you get an extra blocker on one side of the field by doing something like this. However, it doesn't work when the Atlanta player beats the halfback to the spot, but it can work if Jayden Reed can do what he's about to do. Watch him blow by that Atlanta player, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Really good stuff there by Reed. And these are the things that I would notice with Reed. Is he did the little things that allowed big plays to happen. A lot of times we think of big plays as a, okay, that's just making a star play. But sometimes it's just doing enough little things to create the big play. Like, let's move over to this one now, where this is a big play situation and a big spot in the game. This was that crazy, Packers comeback against the Saints when the Saints were 2-0 and looking to go 3-0, looking to be pretty good. Obviously, we knew the Saints kind of, had a rough stretch there, but still, they're up 6 points right here. So Packers need a touchdown really on this drive if they're going to win. And with Reed, with a one-on-one matchup towards the outside, this is a great opportunity. But watch Reed on this play and watch how he gets that outside leverage really quickly and is just going to try and use his speed. This isn't a wide open window, but there is a window here for Jordan Love. And in a situation like this, getting a window this far down the field is really all you can ask for as a quarterback. However, this was early season Jordan Love, right? Late season Jordan Love, he was hitting everything, looking awesome. Early season, he'd have a great throw and then he'd miss one a little bit, right? But watch how even despite a touch overthrown, Reed is able to make an incredible diving play, and that's a huge spot in that football game, getting you to the 15-yard line right there. So, yeah, really good stuff there by Reed to be able to do this kind of thing. And again, kind of like I was saying, it's not one specific moment where you're like, oh my God, that's unbeatable. It's just a lot of little things to lead to the overall big play, which is what Reed was able to do for the Packers for a lot of last season. Also heading over here, what's going to happen is that this is going to be a bit of a lot of moving parts on this play really, but it's going to be zone coverage that the Lions are in. It's a cover 2 zone. This is an untimed down, I suppose, with in the third quarter. There's no time left, but they're going to allow it anyway. That was a big scandal at the time during this game, but whatever. It is what it is. There's that route right there. That's not Reed's route. That's someone else's route. But the reason why I'm highlighting it is to show that, the reason why this route can be effective is that Lions safety is actually going to cover the more over the middle route, which is a thing you can do. But the issue, of course, is that now leaves deep towards the offense's right just vulnerable. That is Reed's route. And not only is it a good situation, someone could pick it up. A Lions player could realize what's going on, but they're not expecting to run down the field, and now they might have to. And so when all of that happens, you see that when Reed gets down the field, he has separation. And this is just as much scheme as it is Reed on this one. And that's part of, I think, an important aspect to talk about is definitely the situation helps out Reed for sure. I mean, I think Matt LaFleur is really good. So having these types of things is nice. But of course, Reed helps out the situation as well. Because watch how he is able to still make track that ball down, make the big catch there, and it's worth mentioning that he was the one who got past the Lions defender. There still was a defender there. All the situation did was give him a better matchup. He still had to win it though, and he did. He has a lot of plays like this where it's going to be, again, just a wide receiver screen. He's the one who's getting the ball on this play, and watch what happens. Love is going to take the snap, quickly flips it towards Reed right here, and you see that there's a couple Chargers players who could come over and make a tackle, but watch what Reed does. Look at him be able to just pick a good angle, accelerates through him, and it takes a lot to get him down. It looks like even then he wasn't actually down. I'm not sure if he was or not, but either way, eventually gets tackled. But really good stuff there by Reed to be able to do that and to be able to pull that kind of thing off. And also just something like this where it's going to be once again against the Lions. This is a one-on-one matchup right here, and this is the big thing that you need as well is for LaFleur. I'm sure he's like, okay, listen, I can do things to help you out. If it's man coverage, I can try to run pick plays. If it's zone coverage, I can try to run zone busters. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just need a receiver to win, and that's what the Packers are going to need on this play. And even a situation I would still say is a good one. It's kind of the slant route here. These can work. But watch how when Reed starts this play, you see it looks like he's trying to get towards the bottom of the screen, right? Like if I'm a defender, that is what I'm expecting. So when he cuts over the middle, there's just enough of a window. Really good throw by Jordan Love to avoid all the traffic. That was not easy, but Reed gave a big enough window to make it that Love knew all he had to do was avoid the traffic, and Reed's still able to make that catch. Really good reaction time, and they get a touchdown out of that. To me, it's kind of a classic case with the Packers of because their players weren't like college superstars, that they don't really get a ton of credit at the NFL level. So people say, man, how are the Packers managing to make this receiving core work? But if you look at it, it's actually pretty good. I didn't even mention when I talked earlier about Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, but I'm not saying any of these guys are Justin Jefferson, but Jayden Reed, for example, is a good player. And when you have just a receiving core of 4 or 5 good players, then that's really helpful. I think about when the Packers last won the Super Bowl in 2010. A big part of why they were able to win that was they had real great receivers, but they also had 5 good receivers who they could just rely on. And having a big group is sometimes more important than just having the one guy who you trust can win one-on-ones, but they also have guys who they can trust can win one-on-ones, including Jayden Reed. So as a whole, maybe I just need to make a video talking about the receiving core as a whole, because it definitely doesn't get enough credit, but Reed is one of those guys who deserves more credit, so I'm trying to give him more credit here. But yeah, those are my thoughts on his game. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.